about the uptick of COVID cases and new variant?
Yes, I can. Matter of fact, I signed off this morning on a proposal we have to present to the Congress a request for additional funding for new vaccine that is necessary, that works. And tentatively, not decided finally yet, tentatively it is recommended that, or would likely be recommended that everybody get it, no matter whether they got it before or not.
Shots as well, so it's like each year the list keeps growing. Do you really think that at this point somebody's going to be watching TV and seeing a government official promoting the COVID-19 vaccine and saying, well, I wasn't going to get it before, but now, my goodness, I'm going to run to my CVS and get vaccinated? No, because of the issue that you just mentioned, there is a major distrust there. As a matter of fact, I think it would have the opposite effect on somebody who might be vaccine averse. And let's be honest, the Biden administration is doing this just because if they don't, their base and the media would criticize them to no end. So it's like a pull and push on why this is actually happening. And a lot of it has nothing to do with COVID-19 at all.
And Kara, just before we were told that there would be no vaccine mandates, there was a vaccine mandate in the end for some employers, but we were told that would never happen. Watch the administration on this point.
No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory.
Is that a sign that perhaps the federal government should step in and issue mandates? And if not, are you putting the needs of unvaccinated people ahead of the needs of vaccinated people?
That's not the role of the federal government.
So here's the thing. We cannot require someone to be vaccinated. That's just not what we can do. It is a matter of privacy to know who is or who isn't.
But then they put in place mandates, half of which were struck down by the Supreme Court.
Yeah, where was that, Nancy Pelosi? I mean, have we learned nothing? And what I think is very critical here is to remember in the early days when we didn't know what we didn't know about the efficacy of masks, about vaccines, et cetera, open and free debate was actively stifled, and the flow of information was manipulated. YouTube censored tabletops. Ron DeSantis actually had experts brought in to talk about masks and whatnot. You have Facebook even going back on their policy where they banned COVID misinformation, where we don't even know what misinformation was. But now at this point, it's stuff the left didn't like, information the left didn't want to hear. So I think the Great Barrington Declaration, too, where you had legitimate luminaries in the public health field that were stifled for their opinions that specific people, like older people, should be protected and everybody else should be allowed to roam free, go to school, etc. So I think we've learned nothing. I think we need to have this genuine marketplace of ideas. I hope these social media companies take note so Americans can actually talk about this and learn from our experience, not repeat the mistakes of the past.
Yeah, and one of the mistakes, Harris, a big one, is we went from this is all voluntary to then this kind of language. Watch, this is called coercion, by the way.
Those governors that stand in the way, I think it was very clear from the president's tone today that he will run over them. And it is important, and it's not for political purposes. It's to save the lives of American people.
This is not about freedom or personal choice. It's about protecting yourself and those around you, the people you work with, the people you care about, the people you love. My job as president is to protect all Americans. For the vast majority of you who've gotten vaccinated, I understand your anger at those who haven't gotten vaccinated. If you break the rules, be prepared to pay. We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin.
It's like a mobster there.
So, and that's one thing, and that's coercion. But that previous soundbite that you played, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, the president will run over you. That's war. I mean, that's more than coercion to me. If somebody said that to me, I figured that they want to throw down. Like, what is that? But get this. So there's a new version of the coronavirus vaccine this fall. It's got FL151, EG.5, BA286. These are now, according to the scientists, at least in Michigan and a couple of other states, spreading very quickly. And we could be looking at a situation, as we said on our way into the commercial last break, mask mandates and the like. So my question is this. Can we see the science first? When was the last time you saw a surgeon go into surgery with a cloth mask? Can we get Dr. Fauci's old tapes back and let's watch them, because he wasn't specific and could have gotten some people killed with cloth masks because it didn't protect anybody. So I want to know how much science they're going to put out if they start to come back, some of the schools and particularly colleges and universities that are mandating vaccines and masks. We need the science this time. It is not our first rodeo. It's not our second rodeo. We're on our third or our fourth round of dealing with this.
If you're vaccinated, you're not going to be hospitalized, you're not going to be in an ICU unit, and you're not going to die. So it's gigantically important that you act like, we all act like Americans that care about our fellow Americans.
The old devils are at it again. Who knows what they'll do? And it's true right now like it was back then. The old devils are at it again. From behind these bars the view don't change. Desperation, death and despair. From what little I hear of the outside world, well, it's not too different out there. And they tell me there's a war without no end. The old devils are at it again. They've died by the millions, children, women, and men. The old devils are at it again. When I say devils, you know who I mean. These animals in the dark, malicious politicians with nefarious schemes, charlatans and crooked cops.